Hi, this is Stacy Lehman from Tri-City United, and I teach music education to kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. And the theories that I feel that I subscribe to would be the objectivism theory and the constructivism theory. I feel my teaching strategies support the objectivism theory because I model the proper singing voice, the breath control, and musical phrasing for the students. They recite and repeat the desired behavior until it is successfully performed. And with the constructivism theory, my teaching strategies also support this theory because students are constantly reflecting on their rehearsal. Here is an example. Do, do, so, do. Do, mi, so. Do, mi, so. So, mi, so, do. So, mi, so, do. Do, so, mi. Do, so, mi. Do, mi, so, mi, do. Do, mi, so, mi, do. Do, so, do. Do, so, do. I give them surveys at the end of the class. We analyze our work and problem solve to improve each time we rehearse. And when we analyze, we also look at the composer's musical markings to determine the inspiration and interpretation of the composer. The students can relate that information to their personal feelings or thoughts and try to convey what the composer intended. And with this, that's where the depth of knowledge comes into play. The teaching method that I prefer is the behavioral method. According to the article, Interactive Teaching Methods in Contemporary Higher Education by Nadezhda and Evian Yakovlev, the instructor presents and models the behavior to be learned. Then the students accurately reproduce the proposed model. There is immediate feedback indicating the success of mastery of the behavior. Now, as a music director, modeling can be the most effective way for learning to happen. When feedback is given, students are curious about their work and they want immediate feedback to know how they did. When you give them constructive feedback, it can boost the students' confidence, and the students can correct improper production to demonstrate the correct sequence. When the effective behavior is learned, there are rewards in result. For instance, it can be time saving when the sight reading is happening, and a growth in accuracy with singing in tune and singing the correct rhythms. And also when they're reading music and noticing patterns, they will recognize familiar trouble spots before attempting the composition in performing it. How can I use technology to facilitate this teaching method? Well, before learning a song, I YouTube other performances to use as models. I tried to get 2 or 3 examples to display different interpretations of the same piece. And as a group discussion, we are able to compose a list of behaviors we thought were modeled well. The purpose of the discussion is to create student-centered learning and build ownership within the unit. I have videotaped myself to model the recorder fingerings and how to play the recorder song for the concert. I also displayed my video on YouTube and used the TCU Moodle site, and students were able to access the site of choice depending on their comfort level. Once the song is learned and the behaviors are stable, we use GarageBand to record the choir rehearsals. Students will listen to their recording and analyze their work. This recording and analyzation of the skills transitions us to the peer feedback method. We start our analyzing with a group discussion and modeled worksheets to help guide the students in brainstorming musical terms to support their rating in each category mentioned. Once they feel comfortable with rating themselves, as the year goes on, they are able to then be successfully on their own and creating their own reflection on their performance. There are methods that I would consider exploring. I am willing to try the metaphor game teaching method to help change behavioral attitudes. Most of my students would not define themselves as good singers. The junior high students are experiencing change within their voices, and they don't quite have the confidence that they once had when performing. I have some males with unchanged voices, while others who have the changed voice with limited control. I have female students afraid to sing high because they notice a break or nothing comes out in their voice. The students have no control over these situations because they are growing as young adults, and that is why I'm here and where I can step in to help. My strategy to change their way of thinking by using the metaphor game, to give them the opportunity to search on YouTube examples of great singers in their opinion. Are they professionals? Are they amateurs? What defines them as a good singer? Then we can incorporate musical terms that we learned in class to describe and have a group discussion. Once we define what makes them a great singer, the students will then problem solve to improve their singing. What makes them different from those singers? What are some similarities that we have with those singers? I'm curious to see the results and why they feel they are so different. And there you have it, Stacy Lehman's reflection. Hi, this is Stacy Lehman from Tri-City United